Hello guys, yeah, welcome back. Here will cover some important and answered questions, and then we'll look at some types of models, and define what a mathematical model is. All right, and then later on we'll look at these other ones. So, what are some important and answered questions? Well, one of the questions that applied mathematicians even population studies, those in population studies want to understand is the trajectory of the world's population for different continents, different parts of the world. For example, when will the human population, surpass 10 billion? Are you able to predict that? Okay, these are important questions for various organizations, the World Health Organization, for the UN, because then if you're able to make predictions, then if you like, you are able to make room to be able to address challenging problems that will arise in different parts of the world, different continents. So that is why these are very important. For example, we know the population from 1950 all the way to about, the 2019 thereabout, okay? And so here, this graph is showing the projection over the next couple of years up to 2030, okay? For the black line is for the world, the red is for Asia, and this is for Africa. So you see the growth, all right? And then on this axis is the population in billions, okay? So these are questions that people are interested in being able to predict. This one is showing similar trajectories for the population for Europe, Latin America and the Caribbean, Northern America, and then Oceania. All right. So you see the trajectory. Actually, that of Europe, sort of, becoming flat, for the last couple of years, and the model is predicting that it's going to be flat for the next 10 years or so. See, so these are very important to be able to predict, and they use models to do these predictions, if you like. Another question, if you like, which is unanswered, is what effect will rising sea levels have on the coastal regions, especially in Ghana? If you look at the coastal regions, you can see that because of activities of storms, because of the rise in sea levels, all of these structures around the coast are being destroyed. Okay, do we have answers to this? How do we address these challenges? Are we able to predict, if you like, the storms that are coming, the waves, their height and their intensity, to be able to put measures in place to stop these things from happening? Okay, so these are all important questions for governments, different countries. Are you able to predict how much it will cost to attend university in Ghana in the next 10 years? Right now, you know how much you pay for tuition and accommodation. Well, are you able to project based on different factors what that cost is going to be? Are you able to predict who will win the next presidential election in Ghana? Okay, these are questions you do not know. Is it possible to use models to be able to do those predictions? And people do some of those, okay? If you want to go to Central Accra, for example, what time of the morning is best for traveling without getting caught in, let's say, heavy traffic, right? So you could use traffic models to be able to model based on different patterns that you are aware of. So this was a study that one of my students did around the Gimba Road. Okay, so on the y-axis, you see the speed of the vehicles, and this is time. Okay, so early in the morning, they are cruising at an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Around 6 thereabouts, see that the speed drops. The speed drops because the lower curve is actually showing the density, okay, the number of vehicles per section of road. The density increases, all right, with time. So you see that the speed drops because the density around this time has increased. Okay, so if you don't want to be caught in this this dip here, then you probably want to start earlier, around 6:15, moving towards downtown. Then you will avoid this, right? So data like this are able to help you to do some kind of predictions. Okay, but can you do something more fancy and more interesting? Okay, so another unanswered question, another important question, if you like, is that can you estimate how long it will take for a river which is polluted by pollutants, right, due to galamsey activities to recover? Okay, once this section is polluted, how long will it take for these pollutants based on the flow of a river, for example, to be gotten rid of? Okay, so these are important questions that you can explore. There are others that you probably want to have a better understanding of. There are problems that maybe you don't know the answers to, that you are interested in the near future to be able to have better understanding. For example, is it possible to study crimes and identify a burglary pattern, right, in your neighborhood? Okay, what is the best way to move through the rain and not get soaked? Okay, these are things that some people study. How visible is invisibility cloaking technology, right? So, people are designing cloaks, right? So that once you put it on, you become, in quotes, invisible, right? See, so this, you're seeing the head because the head is not covered. The background here, you don't see the body, you rather see grass. All right. How feasible is that? Is this possible? Okay, so people are doing all kinds of interesting things and trying to answer all kinds of interesting questions. Okay, there'll be flooding, and there's perennial flooding in the city. Can you identify houses built on urban waterways that are contributing to the flooding in the city? And can you design smart technologies, for example, to warn drivers when they are overspeeding? All right. Is it a way to design something within a vehicle that will sort of warn drivers to sort of reduce their speed? Okay. So this question goes to you. What other phenomena would you like to understand a bit better? Okay, I've mentioned just a few. There are several others. So think about it. Ask you to give me some feedback on this. Okay. So now possible answers to some of these questions are being solved by researchers, students in different parts of the world. Okay, question is that will they be able to find answers? For some of them, maybe it's possible to get answers. But the only thing that one can say with certainty is that any attempt to find solutions will require the use of mathematics. You will need mathematics somehow to be able to have or come up with some answers, most likely through some creation, application, and refinement of some kind of a model. All right. So that is why it's important to have some understanding of what modeling is about. Okay. So in the next section, I'll talk about types of models, and what a mathematical model actually is. Okay. And then that will help us to go from there.